going to kind of freeze those guys at the second level, and then you hit them in the mouth with that offensive line.
You have to know what you have out of your draft class before you go into the offseason. Before you go out there and shop the market, you got to know what you have in the cupboard.
Saw the skill set, you saw the catching, you saw the running, you saw him in space.
It's week 17 of Raiders Roundtable. I'm JT. That's the Hall of Famer, Eric Allen. And EA, another loss, this time to the New York Giants, who came into Allegiant Stadium with the decision to go win the game. And they played a very solid game, beating the Silver and Black 34-10.
Yeah, JT, two struggling football teams. And as you see here, I mean, the Giants their young players were getting after it, and ours really didn't. We had a couple players who played to an excellent level. But for the most part, our football team just didn't have that pursuit of excellence, as we say, on Sunday. And the numbers show it, really, And you have to kind of come to a point where, yes, the young guys need experience and need opportunity, but those young guys have to find a way to put up a winning effort, and they just didn't do that yesterday.
We see a trend here. The Raiders are 0-8 when trailing in the first quarter. Yeah. And I think that shows that the team, even though they're ready to play, I think they warm up, they're ready to go. They come out of the tunnel hyped up. If they fall behind early and they can't get to the end of the first quarter tied or with the lead, they just don't come back. And that's unfortunate because in the game against the Giants, I just didn't think they had much juice early in the game. They didn't have that pop that we saw against Houston.
Well, yeah. And as we know, it takes a lot to be able to be successful on a drive if you're a defense or offense. But it all starts up front. Offensive line, we've had issues all season long, not being able to protect the quarterback and get anything going. Establish a run is really important on offense. And then defensively, again, winning the line of scrimmage. We weren't able to do that. So the Giants had success yesterday. We showed several clips where just some of the young guys not having the right angles and leverage to the ball or allowing their running backs to get more yards after contact. So those are the initial things that I saw yesterday, just not able to really dominate the line of scrimmage yesterday. And that was the result of the Giants being a very, very difficult football team, particularly on defense.
Let's go into the locker room after the game. Here's Trey Tucker.
We got a lot of young guys that are really good that'll be here hopefully for years to come. And we got to obviously, we need those guys in the offseason to take another step, to continue to keep getting better every year because we're going to count on them. I think we're super close, but we're far away at the same time. And, I think the main thing is just finishing the season strong and putting out a good outing next week.
That's a very important soundbite because he's predicting he'll be here as one of the leaders, and that's a leadership quote that he said right there, and he's counting on the new guys to understand the adversity they're going through.
JT, we're in an evaluation season. Whoever's a new play caller or offensive coordinator coming here next year, he's not going to look so much at the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. He's going to be looking at these weeks of the season when things were down, where they were struggling and adversity, what types of players stepped up and answered the call, and Trey definitely did that. He had a really good season this year. If it wasn't for, the lack of consistency on the offensive line, I think he had big-time numbers as our deep threat.
Let's hear from tight end. This is Michael Mayer.
The entire tight end room as a whole is very, very close, and we all support each other and love on each other, and we love seeing other people's success. So I'd say the whole tight end room, and much less the whole team. But at the end of the day, they love seeing me have some catches today, but we just want to win. We want to win.
You and I have talked a lot about him, and on all the platforms I'm fortunate to be on, I'm disappointed that he doesn't get the ball enough, and when he does, he makes plays. When he came into the league as an All-American and a winner of the Mackey Award, I thought he would be a pass-catching Gronk type of player. We had Waller here, who was a great pass-catching tight end. Todd Christensen, Dave Casper. This organization gets it. And he was kind of turned into a special teams blocking tight end. And I think they missed it on him because what he showed yesterday and other times when he can step up, he makes plays.
That was a showcase for Big Mike yesterday. I was so happy for that young man working through the adversity. First of all, being able to get to the second level. And, you have to go back and watch some of the catches by this young man. He did a great job, man. Just setting guys up, great routes, soft hands, run after catch. It was big time. He put on a show yesterday. So if he's going to be a part of this football team in the next 4 or 5 years, man, we have to find a way to get him involved because he definitely took off yesterday. Love to see Big Mike make big-time plays for this football team yesterday.
All right, and then I had a special moment with my family, which I'm really excited about, as I got to light the torch in memory of Mr. Davis, and I've done a couple of cool things in my life with this organization. This is now the top of the all-time bucket list. You knew about it. I was up there. I had my cousin, my nephews, my godson with me, and a lot of family there. And, man, when you stand up there, it's like you're on a high diving board overlooking the 60-plus thousand, and very humbled and tremendous. I want to thank everybody at Silver and Black Productions who gave me the opportunity to be in that position, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, man, so excited for you, JT. And yesterday when we showed the clips on our show, as you know, James has been begging to get on that stage, and I was so excited to see you up there standing for Raider Nation, man. You've done an amazing job here with this organization, man, and you definitely deserve that.
I'll put in a good word for James Jones.
There you go.
I'll do my part coming up. All right, coming up next, Paul Gutierrez is going to join us from Raiders.com and the great Lincoln Kennedy as we continue on Raiders Roundtable.
There's regular cold, and then there's the mountains are blue cold. Mountain cold refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
At Cox, we're always a step ahead. There you go. I'll show you. Like, before your basement became Movie Central, we made sure you'd have strong Wi-Fi, even down here. And you can rest easy knowing the price of your plan won't go up for 3 years. Guaranteed. See? He's looking out for you, and so are we, with advanced security that blocks threats on your network. Good boy. Whatever the future brings, Cox will keep you a step ahead. Oh.
The power of we is all for one. It's all for you. It's always there for you. It completes your circle. It says you've got a team even when you're out there alone. And with Intermountain Health in your circle, you'll always have the care you need to live the healthiest life possible. That's the power of we. Intermountain Health.
This is not a blue moon. Now it is. Now it's not. Now it is. Now it's not. Now it is. Now it's not. Now it is. A Valencia orange makes a blue moon, and everything a little brighter.
Raiders Roundtable is brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders. Coors Light, choose chill, an official beer of Raider Nation. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hey, welcome back to Raiders Roundtable. I'm Paul Gutierrez here with my 3 takeaways from Sunday's 34-10 loss to the New York Football Giants. Number 1, in case you forgot, Michael Mayer is pretty good himself. Yes, Brock Bowers is the NFL's reigning first-team All-Pro tight end and was just named to his 2nd Pro Bowl. But with Brock on injured reserve and cheering on his teammates from the sidelines, Michael showed why the Raiders used a 2nd-round pick on him in 2023. When he wasn't finding open spots in the middle of the field, he was careening off defenders after securing the catch, when he wasn't wrecking defenders in the run game. In all, Michael had a career-high 9 catches on 10 targets for a career-best 89 yards. In fact, he authored 5 of the Raiders' 10 longest plays on the day, receptions that went for 19, 16, 13, 13, and 11 yards. That it all came in a loss made his performance all the more bittersweet, while serving as a reminder what Big Mike can do on his own as a lead tight end. Number 2, no, players aren't into this whole tanking thing. So if finishing with the league's worst record to secure the number 1 pick in the draft is the goal, then the Raiders were indeed winners in chasing that spot on Sunday. Just don't expect players to subscribe to that theory. Of course, a million times of course, their main goal is to win games while playing to the best of their abilities. And as defensive tackle Jonah Laulu said, Players would not want to lose on purpose because then they'd be hurting their own stock in terms of putting up good game film for current and prospective employers. Getting a better draft slot, Jonas said, only puts the team in a better position to replace those that are underperforming. And if they're losing, and if that makes sense, it should. And number 3, well, with one game to go, it's time to see what Aiden O'Connell has, especially if Geno Smith's high ankle sprain keeps him out of the finale against the Chiefs. Yes, I know, technically, Kenny Pickett is the backup, but he's already started once at Philadelphia, and he's appeared in 3 other games. And while Aiden already has 17 career starts and plenty of game tape to his name, none have come under the current staff and regime. It might serve well all parties, then, to see how he plays in the season finale against the Chiefs, as the Raiders look to not only avoid a second straight winless season in the AFC West, but figure out what a potential future looks like with or without him. O'Connell's only game action for Pete Carroll and company, well, that came in the preseason when he suffered a broken right wrist. Then again, and by using all that logic, maybe it's rookie Cam Miller, who has yet to make his regular season debut, deserves a look. Well, stay tuned for that. For more on Sunday's game and what Trey Tucker said about his draft classmate Michael Mayer's performance, you can check out my column at Raiders.com.
It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew.
It's sales event time.
A great time to buy Ranger, Maverick.
Slated. And F-Series.
America's best-selling trucks for 48 years. Let's light them up.
Now that's some holiday power.
That's holiday pro power on board.
It's like a mobile generator.
It's the final days. Get an F-150 with 0% APR and $1,000 bonus cash plus 0 down payment and no payments for up to 90 days. Only at your Southern Nevada Ford dealers.
Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel. You in?
Welcome back to Raiders Roundtable. As always, our all-pro tackle, Lincoln Kennedy, joins us in EA. He's always prepped up because we host the radio post-game show, so Lincoln doesn't have to get in here 3 hours early. He knows. We talk to the callers. Link, I want to begin with Geno Smith. He went down with a high ankle sprain. I think that's about it for him going forward. Aiden O'Connell beat Kansas City in the past. We know where the Raiders are situationally with that #1 pick, so it looks to me like Kenny Pickett is up again, but evaluate Geno in what could be his last game with the Silver and Black this season.
Well, I really do think his season is over, and I think his time with the Silver and Black is over. And I wish Geno Smith the best going forward. I always do. Players who are trying to find themselves. I know what it's been like as a former draft pick and had to change teams. I know how hard it can be to find a home. So with that being said, going forward, I really hope that this last game you can kind of evaluate Aiden O'Connell. And the reason why is because Kenny Pickett it is done after the season. So either you have the position where you want to see what he's capable of, and we've seen such a small sample size of what he could possibly do, or you need to move on. And you've got another year with Aiden O'Connell under quarterback under contract, and of course Cam Miller there for the developmental phase. But you don't want to push things too hard, because I remember it was interesting that the last time that had a Raiders quarterback had as many interceptions or more was Kerry Collins with 20 in 2004. That was the season after I retired and Rich was gone. So it was a big transition and change for the team. I think there's another change coming, and it doesn't matter what they do with that first pick, but future, there's going to be a new quarterback. So I think Geno's time has been served. It's hard to put in position. It's hard to put in perspective of what you can really truly expect out of his abilities, because let's face it, the protection wasn't as sure as it should have been.
Yeah, some of the struggles though were kind of just unique to Geno this year. I know when we're breaking him down in the offseason, I just didn't see the struggles, the lack of ability to be able to get out the pocket and extend plays. Why do you think this year was different than, his last couple years in Seattle?
Well, I think when you talk about the possibility of Geno Smith's talents, and you talk about the boots, you talk about his ability to scramble and use his legs, you don't think you really come into a situation where you want your quarterback, unless you've got a designed run package, like, say, a Lamar Jackson, even what we saw against Jackson Dart with the Giants. Unless you have a quarterback designed run package, we want your quarterback pretty much standing in the pocket and to find the targets. And when you look on paper coming into the season, and I think, JT, you'll agree with this, when you look at the possible playmakers, you got Brock Bowers, the Rookie of the Year, you got Ashton Genty, high draft choice, you got Michael Mayer, you've got future celebrities and Trey Tucker and Dante Thornton Jr. You had weapons. You weren't asking your quarterback to be a mobile, run-around quarterback, but the protection wasn't there overall. And I really think that Geno was under duress, and it played in his mind. He became fixated, in my opinion, on getting the ball to Brock Bowers when he had him in the game, became fixated on getting the ball to Ashton Genty when he had him in the game. There's nothing wrong with that, but EAD, teams pick up on tails. You pick up on details. You pick up on well, he wants to go here. And that first interception in yesterday's game against the Giants reminded me of the Chargers game at the beginning of the season. They read that skinny post. There was a person sitting right there, and there was a linebacker sitting right in that area. And I looked at Geno I thought about Geno when he threw that interception, like, how did you not see him sitting right there eyeing what you want to do with that skinny post? So, the takeaways, the telltale signs for, quarterbacks, pluses and minuses come into view as you progress the season on.
You guys both nailed it. Before we get to the running game, I want to follow up. Geno had every opportunity to play well this year, and he didn't. He had every opportunity. Now, all of it wasn't on him. It was the offensive line, had a terrible season. He had a new play caller. Yeah. But as you said, his inability to run the football in a league where everybody runs the football at some point, tucks and runs, and does something to make something out of nothing, Geno wasn't able to do that. And look, when he got signed, I was all for it because of the 4,300 yards and 70%. He came here for the right reasons. He put up legit numbers and victories in Seattle. It didn't work here. The coach was loyal to him. He was loyal to the coach. And Geno gave everything he had. He did. And he had some transgressions with the fans. It didn't work. But we wish Geno well no matter what happens, because he tried. Yeah. And he tried, and he took a lot of hits. Now we get to the running game, and for Ashton Genty, I just wonder, I was telling people I was sitting with in the game, watch him. If he has a hole, he's going to hit it. Yeah. If he doesn't have a hole, he's going to get hit behind the line of scrimmage. Lincoln, what would this season have looked like if Ashton Genty had better holes to run through? I can't even imagine what the stats would look like.
You would have seen a season like he had in the Texans game.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, that was a big game for him, obviously, both catching and receiving the football. But, the telltale sign for me was the very first offensive snap yesterday, 3-yard loss. That's been the sign of the season for the running game. And when you have that, it's hard to rebound with it. And more importantly, if you're playing from behind and you're trying to get the ball to your all-star running back, you can't do that if you don't have a conclusive or a well-conceived game plan as far as the blocking and what you want to do against opposing defenses. And look, give the other defenses credit, because when you think about what the Giants have been doing throughout these past couple of years, and just making a point, they committed a ton of resources to their defensive line. Statistically, they weren't good against the run, but also statistically overall through the season, the Raiders weren't good running the football.
Yeah, without a doubt. And the most important thing when I would talk to my defensive linemen, either in Philadelphia or in Oakland, was what do we need to do to kind of stop the running game, get penetration. That was the major thing for defensive lines, to get penetration, not allowing that running back to be able to bounce the ball or get an opportunity to see the hole. So penetration has been an issue with the offensive line all season long. Don't you think, Link?
Last 2 years, beyond it, with penetration. And again, you open up the game, the first play of the game for the Raiders offensively yesterday was a 3-yard loss. It was a downhill run. If you can get Ashton the ball clean, and in the times that throughout the season we've seen him get the ball clean in the backfield without penetration, and I call it buying the line of scrimmage. That's what the term that we always had in the offensive line room. You have to control the line of scrimmage, control the front seven. If I was going to put anyone one-on-one, I would want it to be a corner or a safety. So that means you block the line of scrimmage. There have been times, way too many times, where there's been too many opposing jerseys in the backfield. As soon as Ashton gets the football, he's making a cut.
A big topic on this show is Michael Mayer. Yeah. And whoever is coming back or who's not going to come back, whatever happens next, we have to look at him if he's here going forward, because the media has always had him on the trade block.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Right? Assuming he's here because of his contract, there's got to be a new look at this guy. He's got to have games like he just had with Brock Bowers, because that's what could save this offense going forward, I believe, with a new offensive line, a new quarterback, is if, Link, you can move Michael Mayer into the 7 to 10 receptions per game with Brock's 7 to 10 or 12. Now you got 20 receptions with your 12 personnel, and all of a sudden it works. How do you see it?
Well, I mean, I see it the same way. But again, there's only one football. And when you have a rookie of the year like Brock Bowers, you have a tremendous force like Ashton Genty coming out of the backfield, and you have a quarterback who's going through somewhat of a dilemma of who you should get the football to. The telltale signs kind of have Michael Mayer falling short. I hope that he stays a Raider. I think he's the best run-blocking tight end that we have currently on the roster. And then we're talking about getting that run game going. You got to have a tight end who can help solidify the edges so you can attack the perimeter on some of those outside runs. You can't do that in just empty personnel. So, or it's more difficult. You can, but it's just more difficult. And I've seen far too many situations around the league with other teams that have ran multiple 12, 13 type of personnel have success. Why can't the Raiders?
Yeah, we have to have success with that guy on the football field. That will make it. So that's one question mark answered as far as having the two tight ends and being effective. The other question mark this year has been run defense.
Right.
I mean, just poor angles, lack of tackling. Just been a really sore spot, for this football team not to have a secured run defense. What do you say about that run defense, Link?
Well, we're still scouting and still, giving some trial periods to some defensive guys. Devin White and some of the linebacker guys are 1-year contracts, 2-year contracts, prove-it contracts, if you will. With that being said, I think just like offense, defense has to develop a type of synergy. The secondary has to have better communication and understanding the coverage concepts, and the defenses have to know where their run fits are and how to get penetration. This is a very attacking front four in defense of Patrick Graham's. They run upfield, and they can be overly aggressive sometimes, and that's why they're hampered by screens, draws, misdirections, and stuff like that. I think over time, this defense will get to learn how to play together. They just got exposed in many different ways, and especially yesterday.
Well, the Raiders decided to go young at cornerback. It didn't work, but they developed some players. I get that. I would assume Jeremy Chinn's going to be back. He's been shut down. I don't know about Isaiah Palomalo if there's better players out there, but they decided to go with a young secondary this year other than Chinn, and it didn't work because they had to be developed, and they got thrown into the fire. So the offseason, I would assume there's going to be big changes. But, Lincoln, I think the big change has to be with the scheme, because the scheme didn't work with the running game. It didn't work on special teams at all. And I don't think it worked much when it came to the linebackers and secondary and pass coverage. It was very soft. The cover three, whatever they wanted to do, there was just too many wide open areas of the football field. How do you think they change that with one more week before Kansas City?
Well, no, they're not going to happen before Kansas City. It is what it is. You're just there for the rest of the season. They're still trying to develop positions, and I use that word lightly because I don't believe it in today's National Football League in the word develop. But they're still trying to find their true given when it comes to the interior part of that defense. We know what Max Crosby brings. We know what Malcolm Kuntz and Tyree Wilson, the outside edges, bring. This is an attacking defense. We're still trying to solidify who are our go-to defensive tackles in the rotation. rotation within that, as well as the linebacker scheme, as well as the coverage scheme. You know, Jamal Adams was listed as a safety, but he's more listed as a linebacker, but he's more of a glorified safety. And EA, I think you can attest to that. So there might be a little bit of the possibility of him playing out of position. You have to sort of create a position for him. I still think, even in week 17 of this season, and still looking projections to the future, this defense has got far more developing because togetherness, the synergy that you have to create amongst the defense to where everyone knows what they're doing. EA, you can attest to this. How many big holes did you see in that secondary yesterday that it should not have happened, no matter what the defense was?
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think we were talking about different defenses. I think maybe you need to give this defense an opportunity to play some one high where you got man-to-man, you have just help in the middle of the football field. So at least the players understand, and who knows, I got this guy at the beginning of the snap, kind of like our old good friend Willie Brown would say, you know, I got that cat. You know, you line up and you point the guy, I got him, and let's not worry about him. So, and you have to have that kind of confidence in your defense to where you're responsible for a guy, you're going to cover him and get it done. On the other hand, you know, special teams have been just a sore for us this year, Link. I mean, another return for a touchdown yesterday. That's one area of football we thought coming into the season was definitely going to be a strength. You know, how can we go into this last game and next year having more positive thoughts and effect on special teams?
Well, first of all, you got to find guys who are passionate about special teams, and that's a big thing. There are standouts on every team that's successful that have standouts on special teams, and sometimes the starters got to play special teams, and sometimes the starters don't like special teams. But with that being said, I agree with your point, EA. Coming into the season, the only thing I was most concerned about was this offensive line. I thought on paper everything else looked good. I believed in the special teams because of what had happened last year. And when you've got the questions in the kicking game and questions in the field goal and stuff like that, with the field goals and extra points, and you also got questions in the kickoff return. All the energy to me was sucked out of the sails yesterday after the Raiders had a tremendous drive, showed some signs of promise, went down and scored a touchdown, which I always believe in rather than threes. And next thing you know, you come back with a kickoff return for a touchdown. That can't happen.
Coach talked about it with me all year in our one-on-ones. They're backbreakers.
Yes.
They can't have backbreaker plays, especially on special teams. Lincoln, we'll wrap it up with Kansas City with you next week. As always, have a great New Year, my friend.
Happy New Year, buddy. See you guys.
That's the great Lincoln Kennedy. When we come back, we'll look ahead. Kansas City is coming up, the combine, the draft, and all that. But there's more business at hand as we continue on Raiders Roundtable.
The power of we is all for one. It's all for you. It's always there for you. It completes your circle. It says you've got a team even when you're out there alone. And with Intermountain Health in your circle, you'll always have the care you need to live the healthiest life possible. That's the power of we. Intermountain Health.
Could you hand me a piece of tape?
Get your money working this holiday season and get a cash bonus when you open a checking account at America First Credit Union.
At Cox, we're always a step ahead. There you go. I'll show you. Like, before your basement became Movie Central, we made sure you'd have strong Wi-Fi, even down here. And you can rest easy knowing the price of your plan won't go up for 3 years. Guaranteed. See? He's looking out for you, and so are we, with advanced security that blocks threats on your network. Good boy. Whatever the future brings, Cox will keep you a step ahead. Oh.
And a blue moon.
Wow, that is a delicious-looking orange slice.
Thank you. That's actually my son's slice. Proud of you, son.
Thanks, Dad.
I'm sorry, this is a slice of your son?
Look, it's an honor to be chosen for a blue moon.
Well, if it's an honor.
Yeah.
No! Just kidding.
That was a really good one.
The larger one is the dad.
Nothing outshines a blue moon.
Raiders Roundtable is brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders. Welcome back to Raiders Roundtable, everyone. Let's take a look at the last game of the season. It's another home game against the Kansas City Chiefs, and this is interesting to me because I don't have the answers. I don't know who's going to win the games, but I'm wondering what Andy Reid's going to do. As you know, he had a great relationship with John Madden.
Yeah.
He knew Al Davis, Mark Davis, and he's in the Hall of Fame already without the gold jacket.
Right.
He's got a lot of pride.
He does.
He ain't rolling over coming into Allegiant Stadium where he's already won a lot of games and played in the Super Bowl here.
Yeah, he's going to have his football team ready to go. Whatever game plan he has specifically for this Raiders defense, believe me, whoever's at quarterback and tight end, he's going to have it working. He wants to see his football team take positive steps going into next year. So that's going to be very important for that offense, just like it's very important for us to find out, hey, who's going to be quarterback for our football team at the end of the year. We'd love to see, one of the younger guys get their opportunity, AOC or Miller or whoever that may be. So hopefully we have an opportunity to see one of these young guys line up at quarterback and have a good week of practice.
Yeah, I'm not buying into this as Travis Kelce's last game just because he's had such a good career.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to go out with 6 or 7 wins. I think he's going to want to bring it back one more time. So they're going to hype that up in Kansas City that it could be his last game. His fiance might come. You never know if her schedule's open at Allegiant Stadium.
Yes.
And he'll give us another chance at the torch to thank the Raider Nation for all their commitment this year.
Without a doubt. I mean, it's always a great time when we're battling that Kansas City football team and their fan base. They always come around the torch. But it'll be great to see Travis Kelce back in the building to see if we can get somebody to get after him.
Yeah, lots on the line in that game, just like it was against the Giants. We'll see what the Raiders do to perform in this game, and we'll have it covered for you next time on Raiders Roundtable.